13:13 on the clock. Welcome back to the second part of this live stream. Please go and check part one before you um, continue watching this if you haven't already. So, uh, basically, we were talking about these clout handlers. What are clout? They are a group of people who are paid. Well, to go around harassing people. There are different types of clout, generally eve teasers, beggars, mm, and also wants to chase after wealthy men, businessmen around to create, to harass them, to chase after them, make it look like they have an affair going on with someone. They're all planted here, and clout is being investigated as a proper crime now. It's become the biggest nuisance of our times at present. It's creating a lot of hindrance, a lot of delays in the progress of humanity, human consciousness, the planet. Humanity has outgrown a lot of uh, lower timelines, energies, frequencies, and storylines. And they're basically, it's time to move forward. It's time to move forward into higher timelines as a planet and the entire planetary consciousness. It's time to expand. It's time to grow. But there is still something that is restraining this growth. And cloud is enabling that restriction, and cloud crime is restricting the expansion and growth, our ability to move around, movement around. So basically, somebody who people who have outgrown these connections, these karmic connections, these false connections, these contracts that they were bound to earlier when they were not in this position, like when they were in a more immature state, they ended up getting caught up unknowingly in these situations recklessly. Mm, and now they have outgrown that. This is specifically looking to me like somebody in a authoritative position who's investigating cloud crime. They are kind of yeah, we have the King of Swords as well here, and we have so the spy networks coming up as well. This cloud, they are basically stalkers and spies. They spy on the local community, people of local community, and these people were being investigated by people by these local authorities. This detectives probably undercover, right? And the thing is, they've looked into the cloud so much that now all of the anxiety that the cloud is facing, especially this a moon, this person who is in this energy of the moon, five of cups and nine of swords, right? The high school bully who is being investigated since the past 9 years. It could most possibly be a Pisces that is being investigated, a Pisces sun sign, or here whatever signs are mentioned are mainly sun signs, because we have the sun right in the middle. So the moon showing up does not mean moon sign. It's very clear that it is. We also have justice, somebody that is Libra, somebody in the legal system that may be a Libra, a Leo sun who might also be investigating this, not as an official person, but um, just somebody who's been in this locality and has grown up in this locality and has now reached a place due to their hard work and sincerity, and the they have continued on to the good, continued being on the good path, taking the higher road. They have made some mistakes earlier, like how this justice card, we have the knight of swords. And so this authority also, this Libran authority has also been investigating this since they were very young, when they were in the knight of swords energy, and they have grown up to this the king of swords energy through investigating this is an official person. This could be an undercover person, not directly linked to any local authority. They might also be a private investigator, but they're closely connected to the justice system. They are involved in the justice system up front, not up front, but in the background, definitely. And now these two, these two grown ups who have been investigating this local clout and crime separately. I don't think they know each other, or they might know each other, know of each other. They know that they exist. Energetically, they might know that, this Leo and Libra might know, like, energetically, that they exist in the same locality, and they're working towards the same thing, right? Both of them feel really bound to the mind of this culprit, this bully. They know the mindset. They know they know now clearly how to how to differentiate, how to distinguish between what are the thoughts of this culprit's mindset and what are their own original thoughts. So earlier, when they were in the night's energies, when they were still immature, where they would just act before actually thinking and clearing their thoughts and distinguishing between what is what, and what is whose, what is when, what is where, and what is why. Before doing this mental exercise, they would take action, and that action would just like, uh, it would turn up to be a little reckless, right? But now they know clearly, like, what is external, what is a third energy, what is not their energy. They know very clearly, and I sense a lot of irritability. They also want this investigation chapter of their life to close, and they want to move forward, they want to grow, they want a They want a brand new reality, a brand new setup, like the Wheel of Fortune and the Ace of Pentacles showing up, like, this look like an investigate. So they've had to not they've had to be behind the scenes, using their mind, like, in in understanding, investigating uh, this entire pattern, and also on ground, like, observing what's happening on the streets and in places. And it was a very it was a very ugly time, like, this investigation uh, was very painful, because it seems so alien to who they really are, their own energy. It's so alien, it's so different, so it's too much in the dark. It's too much in the dark. Like when we're investigating something, which is to do with the dark, or the shadow self, like we and it relates to somebody else. It's a third energy, right? We can only see up to the point where it resonates with us, right? Our own shadow self. But beyond that point, when it goes ultimate dark, which we are not, we are creatures of the light, right? The honest good souls and people, right, who are getting bothered by these cloud and etc. So when it goes there, when it crosses over to that side, we are unable to see. We're unable to see it very clearly, energetically. Our soul will push back, and it will it'll be very painful. The pushback is really painful, and the soul will put a pause, a temporary pause on your life, in your growth, in your enhancement, in your movement forward, especially if you are on the twin flame journey, right? It will stop your movement. And now they're ready to move forward from this. They're wanting they can no longer look into these two investigators, this king of wands and this king of swords that showed up underneath here. um, they want to close this investigation, or step out of this investigation completely. They want a brand new beginning. They want nothing to do with this. They want, like, they don't want they want zero attachments to this. They want to take their money, or they want to use the resource of money that is completely unattached to this. They want to put this resource of money, whatever this might be, their own personal savings, that they want to use, that they have never ever used. They probably have used investment money, etc., venture capital or seed funds, etc., for startups, like other people's money, probably their parents' money or investors' money, like this investor showing up here. I spoke about it a little bit in part one, like how there's this investor who now has finally spoken up about how he's been drained of his money. Like, he was there to fulfill people's dreams, and and this clout kind of targeted this person's investments wherever he had invested. And he has spoken up. This is the judgment card, right? This investor has spoken up in front of the authorities. This probably happened. So we have 1010. This is 20, right? The judgment card. This probably happened in 2020. He had already spoken up about who he thinks, or he had started his own investigation into who genuinely took money to run a business and got hit by the clout, and who just took his money and pretended to be hit by the cloud. It is very important for this person to differentiate that. That is what I'm getting from this energy, right? And also these people, this king of wands and this king of swords person, the people who have who have grown up, who have matured over the course of time, possibly 3 years. This from the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Swords. Now, this Knight of Swords person has even outgrown the king position. From the king is still a minor arcana, even though it's suit, but it's a suit card. It's still a minor arcana. They've reached a major arcana. So this they have gone from the knight to a major arcana, that is justice, this Libra here. And they had money stashed away. They had money stashed away to their name, which they had never attached. Like there was zero. There was that money that was on their name was completely detached from any kind of system. It was completely separate. They had made this arrangement for themselves, and so had this a Knight of Wands Leo person, the son of one specifically. And then they have grown up to the king or the father of wands. They're thinking now of themselves as not just a player. No, I'm not a player. I'm thinking of myself as a father, like uh, the the head of a house kind of a father. Not possibly they're thinking about starting a family of their own, with the sun card showing up here. They're thinking about how they're supposed to be having children and a family of their own, right? So they're focused on that. So that is how they have outgrown. And this is how this Libra has matured and reached a place of authority by investigating this relentlessly, and learning how to think 10 times, not even twice, 10 times, or 11 rather. The justice card is the number 11 card, 11 times before speaking up. They train themselves they on their own, like individual training, because they really, both of them really wanted to get out of this. And what their safety net was their own individual savings, this Ace of Pentacles, which they're going to use to move forward and away from all of this business. They are going to, but there is going to have to be one last fight to break this open. And the cloud kind of knows. So they're walking around delirious and demented. We have the Judgment card here again. These two really have learned to recognize that this Nine of Swords anxiety that they've been feeling probably over the last 3 years is literally alien. It's not theirs. It's this clout and these fake businesses that drained this investor. Their anxieties, their headaches, their concerns, like this pimp or pimp madam, the clout handler, whatever you want to call them, the people who formed the clout, and now that the handlers are possibly behind bars, are now being forced in the house arrest to repay, or are in debtor's prison. The clouds are there for crime, like, actual real crime. This is and the cloud itself is probably they have been they have been the ones who got stuck being a cloud, because the cloud handlers were helping them repay the loan, and now that the cloud handler is behind bars, they can no longer they're not getting the money that is needed to repay the loans. That's why they've been put in debtor's prison, or they're probably under house arrest, and or the police are watching them very closely. Authorities are watching them very closely. They have been asked to do a job, or make something, probably, like, stuff for the government, like badges, or like these look like badges, some kind of trinkets. They're making them do something so that they can earn money by doing some kind of work to pay it off. Yeah, and they're doing that at night, like it's a night job, or maybe they don't have any jobs. They've lost, because this goes on your records. You are a criminal. You have to. I mean, if this goes on your permanent record, if you've ever been a cloud member, it goes on your permanent record. So now that's the only thing that they can ever do. That is the state of affairs with these people who had joined the cloud to repay some loan, like personal loans or whatever. Maybe it's the bank also that is paying them pennies, or not paying them at all, like making them do some work, making them make some things, craft some things. Yeah, there's definitely some debt 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 repayment uh, s- uh, scheme that they've come up with. All right. All right. Let's see what this is. Yeah. We have the hangman here. This is again, like, evidence, if it was buried, like, somewhere in a lake or river, or in the basement that was flooded with water or something, that was uncovered, because it was still sending signals. It was possibly like an electronic device connected to a satellite. Yeah, I was talking about this device when I got cut off earlier. The Wi-Fi connection fluctuated. There are these devices that are basically built, and the cloud is using um, uh, probably a different network, a different local network, very small network on the routers, or the server works on cloud. It, I I cannot possibly describe in a tarot reading the technology behind this, but it's like a copy of a military intelligence device. So that is confidential information, and I shouldn't be doing that in a general tarot reading as well. but it's a military grade device, or a copy of it. It doesn't have the kind of security. Neither do the military devices have that kind of security to begin with. But there are military grade devices that are being used by these clouds, these criminals, these small time criminals, and all of those machines were buried around like probably lakes and things like that, and those still give off signals. They do. And because it's military grade technology, it's going to go on the grid, on the military grid, and they probably uncovered this, and then that is what is causing that is what is causing these people anxiety, and for other people, innocent people who have just been living their lives, that, I mean, that kind of anxiety, that kind of fear is all like obviously going to feel very alien. Is all I'm trying to get at, like, if you're innocent and you're feeling like a criminal, like, if you're having this imposter syndrome, that am I really innocent, am I really doing this, like, if you're questioning this, like, it's definitely that you're innocent, right? Because a psychopath doesn't know that they're a psychopath. A person with a mental disorder doesn't know that they have a mental disorder, like, that kind of a thing. If you're going through the imposter syndrome, and if you feel like, thoughts have been planted in your head that are giving you this anxiety, like, and it has no real basis in what you've done in your entire life, right? And then you need to really you need to accept and be aware that you are surrounded by these criminals. You've had these criminals in your life. Like, you need to be aware, this is not to uncover any crime or anything like that. It is just for your own sanity and your safety, the sanctity of your life. You're supposed to be doing something better, and you're supposed to be disconnecting from these people for your own mental well-being, because thoughts can be transferred, they can be planted, these anxieties, and these criminals will have the tendency to do that. They will take their anxiety, and they will just like start lashing, like they will just start like telling you about their problems and all lies, possibly, they're not going to tell you about the actual criminal activities that they've been doing for years and years, right? But they're going to tell you of how they suffered in relationships, or they suffered because of their parents and things like that. They're going to continuously like keep telling for some people, for you genuinely, you might have suffered in relationships and a lot of heartbreak, and you might have had parents who were really really unfair with you, right? Very strict family, disciplinarian families, etc., etc., unfair, like, very tough parents, whatever, tough lives. Like, parents might have had very tough lives, and you all might have had to. So you all have genuine problems. So these people will lie about having these similar problems, whereas their anxiety is not stemming from that, because it's a lie. Obviously it's a lie, right? And they know it's a lie, but they are just transferring that anxiety to you, the energy of anxiety to you, thinking that it will rid them of the the anxiety that is caused due to their criminal activity. It's not transferable like that. I mean, it's like, misery loves company. They just want you to be as miserable and anxious as them, so that when investigations are underway, like, you become like their human shield. Oh, we have similar problems, that's why we're friends, like, Oh, I'm not a criminal because he or she is not a criminal. Look, they are my friend. How can anybody who's a friend of theirs be a criminal? I mean, this is their strategy. It's very shoddy, but no. Like the higher ups also in the spiritual dimensions, um, these souls, these who are indulging in criminal activities and who are linked to this devices being dumped, um, like the higher ups, like the really higher ups, the really high level souls, etc. They're stepping in because with uh, it's messing with the system. All of the surveillance that the military organization and all they do is not bad. It's just it's it's sad that that is not yet obsolete. It's just really sad, and it's sad that it is still necessary. But the good part is that it's necessary right now to make it obsolete. So whatever that we are used to saying, like, the military is this, and they they have the surveillance network, they're looking in on our lives and things like that. It's because it's necessary right now to make it unnecessary in the future, and it's coming in the way. The hangman and the temperance is also, like, something coming in the way of that happening. And the people in governments and militaries also want to be released from, like, looking into other people's lives. They also want an end to that. They want a better life. I mean, the technology, the research that is done in these organizations is very high. It's of a very high caliber nature. It comes from it comes from the ethers, literally. We have etheric technology, but on ground, if the cloud is running loose and they're copying military grade technology and using it to, like, fool some local investor out of his money and things like that, and harass local businessmen and people and great civilians and whatnot. I mean, that is such a great nuisance. And we're talking about nuisance to the military, the armed forces. I mean, it's like we have it's like I came up. Suddenly, these words came to me yesterday. Like, if you've made a move against me, you've inevitably chosen a side. Chosen the opposite side. If you've made a move against me, you've chosen a side. Like, if you've just been there on the other side, observing me and observing the other side, that is not making a move. But if you've made a move behind my back, like in the dark or something like that, I'm gonna know. Like, I'm gonna know. Like, everybody's gonna know when they've been backstabbed, right? Energetically, you're gonna know. It's just about uncovering the evidence, and something is coming out into the open. Like this, uh, this pot is open. This information is coming in. It's going up into the cloud. Like, this steam is getting released. It's gonna go out in the cloud, and then it's going to come out into the open. It's going to be uncovered, whatever was done here in the dark. Now finally, this son of swords can speak up. They have the right place now. and the place of honor now. There's also cancer involved. Yes, we have the chariot here twice. Oh, there is one cancer. He is super. 10 of cups energy. 10 of cups energy. Super duper undercover. Super duper undercover. I mean, yeah, of course, I think he may have had luck on his side, like his seniors or people who are slightly older than him, like cleared the path for him. Yeah, possibly cleared the path for him. I took the brunt and had to do the reckless actions. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like they've had like a secret life, a beautiful secret life. They've been living like in on a island made for these undercover people, and a secluded space by the river and things like that. They they have created this place so that they can have this new beginning. They know that place is unreachable, and then that's where they're gonna go. That's beautiful. That's awesome. Happily ever after. Happy ever after. Happily ever after. Okay, so we've moved from the Nine of Cups energy, like wishing for things to actually happily ever after. That is the Ten of Cups energy. That's beautiful. The Cancer showing up. Oh, the moon. Yeah, it's closing. Like we have the moon here, and now we have the moon here. It's done. It's closing. The investigation is done. This bully is getting sent behind bars. This Pisces bully. They've had a record on them since high school, since school. They've hurt a lot of people. They've caused mental anguish, mental disorder, mental trauma to a lot of people. To a lot of people. Look at the list. Look at the length of this document. To a lot of people. These people who are being made to repay their debt by working, like making some things. Um. Oh my God. As soon as I said that, they they also they were indirectly responsible for a lot of damage and actual death. There are a lot of people who died because of that, because they tried to pass on that mental anguish of being a debtor. Like if you're a debtor, if you have zero borrowings, and if you're self-sufficient, like if you're making money and living off of the money that you're making, your budget is very sorted, you do not have anxieties or the thought forms in your mind that are related to a debtor or a borrower, or you don't have thoughts of debt in your mind. Like as an auditor, I like people who want to get loans from the bank. They generally approach auditors, right? And we can tell by the energy if you're an auditor and also a psychic medium, and if you have some psychic abilities, you can if you can read into people's minds and at least understand the kind of thought forms that are there. Like I whenever like a loan note approval would come towards me um for the company that I was working, that I was auditing through my firm, like I would just like go and but during break time, I would go to the person who had sent that loan note. Even like the numbers and numerical values and all of those like fit everything, like the documentation and things like that. But I would do a final check, and I would see what kind of thought forms, like it doesn't even have to go to thought forms. Like you can see their body language, or the way they greet you, the fluctuation of their voice and things like that. You can tell, like that this person doesn't know how to repay this, so they are going to incriminate themselves. And then if it is that evident at that early stage, and if you have defrauded on loan payments, and if you've not paid loans, and you feel that you're free of it, that means you have sufficiently passed on that anxiety of being a debtor, a defrauding debtor, to that mental anguish and anxiety to other people, and the other like blissfully unaware about this, and somebody died because of that. Oh, they also might have been a debtor, but they might have been working towards paying those debts. They might have reached the end of it, but they still carry that those anxieties and thoughts from like having to pay, and then actually paying all of that. So if you freed yourself by unloading all of that anxiety, mental trauma onto someone, and that person dies, it's gonna get linked to you, man. It's definitely gonna get linked to you. We have the gentleman with the Ace of Cups here, somebody making promises that, oh, you can pull off like Bonnie and Clyde. Like we can pull this off together, like posing as a gentleman, faking it as a gentleman. Somebody could be 36 years old or saying that they are 36, passing on their toxic, their criminal, their crime, their thoughts to other people. And the worst part is that they did this to star seeds. A Six of Cups. They did this to star seeds. Like star seeds are, they don't even have a bird's eye view. That their view is like the central sun in the super sun in the middle of the multiverse. So they succeeded with probably normal simple souls, human souls, and they think that now I have passed on this mental information of being a fraud into this mind, and this mind died because of it. That means the mental information regarding that crime is gone, correct? And I have a brand new identity and things like that. So this is what they're thinking. But their next move, what they try to do, the same thing that they try to do, there was definitely a star seed involved in that. They try to do this to a star seed. They had this is gentleman here again. The starseed who knew a genuine gentleman, a real gentleman. A gentleman is sincere, automatically has respect. Not the one that we saw earlier, just faking it, pretending to be a gentleman. Like this, there's a difference between a real this is a real gentleman and this is a fake gentleman. Is pretending to be just like somebody who keeps fooling, making false promises. So yeah, this person who made false promises, this fake gentleman, uh, tried to prove that this genuine gentleman was also the same thing, so that they could hide behind them and pretending to be trying to probably look like them, uh, trying to show that, oh look, even I
It's
am
2 o'clock.
as hardworking, or I look like them. I could be this person's. Uh, I'm exactly like them. I look like them, or I work that. I'm from the same industry and from the same background. Or whereas they could be the ones who would were involved in not only this uh, crimes against this cloud crimes, making these military grade devices, going against this local investor, as well as loan fraud. So that this fake gentleman tried to project all of their crimes and their mental anguish and anxiety onto this genuine gentleman. They didn't know that this gentleman was possibly a star seed. They tried to make this genuine gentleman look like the one, like them, like this one making false promises to all of these women. They just projected that, but they but the difference between this fraud gentleman and this genuine gentleman is that this this genuine gentleman was he just showed good manners towards all of these women, showed them one or two gestures or welcoming gestures of genuine friendship, whereas this fraud gentleman has a record history of fooling these girls and trapping them, institutionalizing them. There is a place probably that he takes them to, somewhere. It could be anywhere around the world. Anywhere around the world, there are some places that this false gentleman takes leads these women that he has fooled with. But on the other hand, this genuine gentleman, all the women that were interacting with this genuine gentleman are walking free, like they're free. They're doing their own thing, and he is in no way related to anything. He has not, because he has not manipulated. Uh, They are. They're out of his control because he wasn't the one who was controlling them, manipulating them. It was uh it was being the crimes of this fraud gentleman were being projected on the genuine gentleman, and it doesn't stick because the genuine gentleman has a completely different life altogether. Yeah, so this fraud gentleman sends these women to these, misleads them, manipulates them to go to these, and holds them captive. Holds them captive. Look at this. Holds them captive. The tower and whip, like enslaves them. enslaves them. We have the one last card. We have the moon card here again. So the Pisces, this Eight of Cups, who ran off in the middle of the night, possibly. Could be ages 32. Yeah, the one who's been doing this since 3 years. They're probably living on a boat somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, but they're going to be detected, like, in part one, I spoke about no matter how many identities or how many devices you change, like, you will, everybody has a pattern. And we have pattern recognition technology. It's perfected. If something's perfected, it's pattern recognition technology. And everybody, all of us follow a pattern, whatever we might be, starseed or not. Even starseeds have a pattern, and but then they're very open about it, like, hey, you know what, this is me and this is what I do. I mean, it's pointless investigating me because I definitely ain't the criminal. I'm the innocent one. I'm honestly trapped here. I don't even want to be here. I don't want to be a part of anything. I want to live my own life. I want to do my mission. My I want to finish my assignment in this lifetime. Go and live uh, in the countryside and grow go grow have a garden and things like that. If I'm as lucky as to have to find my divine counterpart, I will do that. I'm just here to do my part, energetic or actual physical assignment, and do my own thing. So this is the pattern, like the star seeds would tell you, this 1 2 3 4, this is the 10 step uh assignment that I have in this lifetime. Here it is. But criminals are like, oh no, we have this one, like, they try to mislead, and they try to create this kind of a uh if you can see this visual, this is the kind of, this is how they show up. But there is also a pattern in this, right? This is how their thought forms are. This is what their mind is made up of. A starseed mind, a genuine soul's mind, will never be like this. A person who has always lived a sincere life, a straightforward life, their mind will not be like this. So, if the behaviors, if the patterns, if people's routine, like it'll take 5 minutes to recognize this versus this, a criminal versus a sincere people person. It'll take less than 5 minutes to differentiate between the two and to trace specific details about this, no matter how many identities or. Uh, I mean, I'm getting 5 days. That is because probably they're investigating too many criminals. A maximum 5 days. 5 minutes, 5 days. That's that. Like, I don't know. I'm saying fives. 555 might mean something to someone. We have a 5 of cups here. That's why possibly I'm saying five. Like, within 5 days. Within 5 days after the fortnight, that means 6th of Feb. Like, all of these people are going to jail with brand new beginning. Not even the 6th, let's just say the 9th of February. So, yeah, okay, yeah. We have a 7 here. Can't tell. Like, anytime from the 6th to 9th of 6th, possibly everybody is just like getting put away and out of localities that are made up of sincere, hardworking people, and these people who have suffered, these investigators or people like projecting and all of it, Star Siege and all of them like get a brand new life. They get to move into a new reality. The divine souls get to move into a new reality. For the normal, genuine uh, souls who are just doing their own thing in this lifetime, they will be rid and free of all of these criminals. This investor is possibly letting go, liberating himself of, liberating himself that, yeah, okay, I lost my money, that's fine. I'm done with that. Yeah, okay, that's all I have for you. Maybe I'll come back on after a little while. See you in the next reading.